Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everybody to our December 19, 2019 Town Board meeting. We finished our work session. I want to thank everybody that did come to the work session. Our Parks Commissioners, Bobby and Brad and Will, along with Joey, John Petrosini, who's our engineer, and everybody else that was sitting here. I thank you. Now we're going to start at 7:30 with a recognition award for Maria Hunter.
You gotta give her time. My leg hurts. Leave me alone.
I haven't called you up yet.
I'll sit down again.
I'm going to also ask Councilman Bob Hunter, no relation to Maria Hunter, to make the presentation. Now you can come on.
Maria, on behalf of the grateful town board, we'd like to present to you this plaque recognizing your 19 and a half years of hard work and due diligence on the Woodbury Planning Board. It has not gone without recognition from many people in this town what you've contributed, and we're deeply grateful.
There, PDF. Nice
Yeah.
You wanna see it again? Yeah, do it again.
Right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you to the town board for this presentation. And I did serve with the town for 6 years, so then I transferred over to the village when the village became the village in 2006. So thank you very much.
Well deserved, Maria. Now I'm going to call up the Deputy Supervisor, Jacqueline Hernandez, to give a presentation. Jacqueline.
All right, at this time, I'd like to ask Brandon Gibson to the podium. Brandon Gibson, this past summer, worked on a project at our community dog park. If anyone ever frequent the dog park, they would know that the apparatuses there were extremely worn and run down. And under the leadership of the committee lead, Alyssa Slamler, who's in the room right now, they both worked together to coordinate Brandon's Eagle project at the community dog park, and in which case he upgraded our 2 apparatuses and actually built 2 additional apparatuses for the dogs. They were extremely happy when I went to go visit this weekend, running up and down, and made all types of platforms for the dogs. And although it seems kind of simple for us, it was definitely very involved. I thank his parents for the support that they gave him, and his troop for attending with Brandon. So on behalf of the town board, I would like to give this recognition of accomplishment to Brandon Gibson. Woodbury Town Board appreciate your dedication and support on the work completed at the dog park. Thank you so much.
You can look at the camera too. Jackie, the camera.
Oh, the camera.
This way. The video camera.
Oh, did she?
Okay, we have one more award to present. Actually a surprise award, because she has no idea she's getting it tonight. But she did a tremendous job on our dog swim. She has done great things for our dog park. And I have a certificate. I'm gonna call up Miss Alyssa Sandler. The certificate is of recognition and appreciation and awarded to Alyssa Sandler on this day for a great accomplishment as a leader, mentor, and immense devotion to the Dog Park Committee, September 2019, signed by Frank Palermo, Town Supervisor.
All right. All right.
We seem to be closing a lot lately.
Yes, you have. Awesome.
Wait to the family. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's well deserved. Thank you. All right, let's start with public input. So anybody have anything that they would like to say?
Good evening, Susan Siriano. I spoke to you briefly last week, Mr. Palermo, more of it's a Woodbury Junction issue. So at the bottom of Woodbury Junction, at the entrance, is a gravel parking lot. We know that that gravel parking lot was intended for the use of, for residents to park if they were going to use the walking trails that exist. Recently, we have probably about 12 high schoolers in our development, one of which is now able to drive, but is not a senior, so does not have parking privileges at the school. The question became, well, can they park in that lot? Pointing out there was a sign now posted, I don't know when it went up honestly, because I really don't pay attention, but it says Town of Woodbury parking lot for use by Woodbury residents only for access to Cornell Pond Park. All their vehicles will be towed at owner's expense, no overnight parking permitted. So the question becomes, is it okay for a Woodbury resident, we're talking a student, to park there in the morning and then obviously cross the street and then come back and take the car? We spoke briefly about, we don't have buses, which is fine. A lot of these kids live up the mountain. Our road conditions are poor at best, as everybody knows, except my block, but that's the only block because it got paved. So the girl wants to be able to drive, but obviously she doesn't want to risk her car being towed. Now we're talking one person, because the rest of right now, the rest of the kids that do not have cars, some are seniors, don't have cars, some are juniors. But so they just don't want to have an issue, because as I said to Mr. Palermo, how I see it going down is a resident all of a sudden sees a car there on a regular basis, calls a police officer, who then may say, well, this shouldn't be here. The person says they took the car, they left the car, went across the street. That has been reported in the past, that's why I say that, before there was the sign. And people pointed out this was a resident in the community, he wasn't a senior, he was just parking and going to school and then driving back up the mountain at the end of the day. So the question is that okay, and is there a way that we can, maybe some kind of permit or something in their window just to flag that, to the police officer should they be called?
Well, my first question would be is who put the sign up? Because I don't recall anyone from the town board issuing that edict that you can't park there, so.
Okay. There's two actually up. I took a picture of one, but I couldn't answer that
Okay, well, Bobby is left, so I will have to speak with him tomorrow on the basis of the town board having no problem with the kids parking there. Jackie?
Yeah, I just would say that, I just wanna know why it was stipulated that nobody could park there, just so that.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Never
so
come
we would
before
probably have to
board,
look
so-
at the location and get to it, right?
You do have a local law that lists certain parking areas that are restricted, and that's not part of it, so there should not have been a sign
There should
that was
not
put
be a
up by the
sign.
town there. So I don't know.
Okay, so maybe we'll, like I said, if the town board has no problem with it tonight, I will have Bobby remove it tomorrow. So how about you?
Which means they would, once the sign is removed, then they would have permission to
It's
park there.
pretty much remain front.
How about you, Councilman Essex? Councilman Hunter?
So how are we gonna regulate that?
If we remove the signs, there's no reason to be removed. Right now, there's a sign there, and the chief of police is here tonight. Chief, do you know of any reason why it's up there, and why, would it be a problem if we take them down and you?
The only problem I foresee is that it is like what Councilman Hunter was leading into, is how you're gonna regulate that, because if you let one student, then what's to stop other students from other municipalities going and parking there? How are we to know who actually belongs there just by running a registration on the car? So I think what the person was saying before was, could they get some type of permit to say that they're actually okay to be there? And I think that goes back upon you guys, whether you want to formulate something or if we have something already.
You know what I would recommend? Why don't we table this now, and we'll research it, look into it, and
I
then.
can, I mean, that can be out there, but I could write it to our HOA or our management and ask if they by chance put the sign up. I do not know if I will get a response, but I can definitely put that out there and let you know.
That would help, and
That's the
I
other
think,
thought I have, is maybe they put it up on
I-
your behalf?
I think it would give us a 2-week period to, I mean, we're talking about possibly, we won't give them a certificate of an award, but we can give them a piece of paper that they put out on the front
Right,
that
on the
specifically,
dashboard or something,
that
yeah.
will specifically state that, the town board,
And right now, we're talking
recognizes
one, we're not gonna talk, you're not gonna be influx with hundreds of, and we're talking one person.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
normally, like, if you set a precedent, it's for everybody, like, there would be no way.
But-
So I think what we'll do is we'll research it, see if there was a reasoning behind it, see who put it up, and then we'll
Fair
be able to get back in touch
Fair
with you.
enough.
Thank you,
Great,
sir.
thank you.
If memory serves me correctly, the sign was installed several years ago to give Woodbury residents access to that walking trail and that little pond up in there. Otherwise, you know, if anybody parked there, but it's technically town property and a town walking trail. And it was quite a few years ago, I think, that was done. And that's why it's there.
I mean, I see people use it all the time, like, let's say there's something going on at the high school, okay? The overflow, people will go there, even residents I've seen, but I don't know how long the sign's been there, because I've never noticed it. But I myself have once parked there because there was an overflow at the high school, and I said, oh, the heck with it, by the time I find a spot, I might as well just park right here and just walk across the street. And people do that, on occasion in that living and development, I've seen them do it, it makes sense, but now we're talking someone that wants to do it every day.
So
You know,
give
school
us
day.
a chance to take it, and we'll talk it over.
Okay.
We will have a work session before the next meeting anyway, and that will be a topic to be discussed.
I just have one question. We'll ask the question on our side. Are you familiar with, is building and grounds snow plowing that during the winter? Are they plowing that?
You're good?
No. So who's taking care of the
Oh,
ground?
that lot?
Yeah.
I don't know who plows that lot, if it's plowed at all.
I don't think they do.
It's just a gravel lot.
It's just a gravel lot.
And more than likely, if there's snow, people aren't walking up that trail, so,
Or parking?
Right.
right.
I
Right.
mean, I honestly don't think many people even know it's
And we
there.
wouldn't be doing it in the snow anyway, so.
Right.
But give us 2 weeks to work on it, and we'll get back to you at the next meeting.
Fair enough, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Maria Hunter, what you might want to do, board, you might want to find a resolution that was approved for WP3, Woodbury Junction, way back when. Just about the time I was coming onto the board, and I believe also when Supervisor Burke
I
was in.
know, I'm laughing because someone just told me to see something.
But Supervisor Burke at the time, we had that specifically dedicated to Woodbury residents to use to do the walking trail. The Parks Department or Buildings and Grounds, they never, as far as I know, expanded into there. My concern is if you allow this one student to do it, someone from Monroe, someone from Chester, from Tuxedo, Harriman, my friend's parking there, they're gonna start parking there and they're non-residents. So that's my concern, that you don't wanna start a precedent where you have other students, because technically they're not supposed to be driving if they don't have a permit at the high school. And you can also check and verify with the high school what their procedure is of students crossing the road to get to class.
Well, we just recently did all the crosswalks over there, and thank you to the county for doing that. So to make it safer for when the kids do cross the road. Anybody else?
Fred Ungerer from the Parks Commission. According to my wife, it seems like there's some misinformation with regard to the prospective pool. I'd like to go in reverse order. First of all, this meeting was originally, I was told this meeting was going to be last Thursday. And that's the reason I'm late, because I had a previous appointment. Now, going back a bit, I was informed that I was told that we were informed about various things in regard to this pool. Well, I basically say that's false. Like I said, going in reverse chronological order, we were told, the Parks Director called me up one afternoon and said, right, there's going to be a meeting tomorrow at around noontime. I forget what time it was. I had already had a previous commitment, so I couldn't make it. Now, at the last board meeting, I spoke in regard to some information that I received over the internet. It was in regard to Parks Commission duties and powers. I gave a copy to the lawyer here, and I won't say he mocked me, but he basically rolled his eyes because I stated I got it off of the internet. Well, you can get a lot of stuff off of the internet. This was information in regard to the town of Woodbury. And I was told by people in power that these laws or regulations were still in force. I gave a copy to the lawyer, and at that meeting, Mrs. Hernandez told me that she would look into it. Now, the reason I wanted people to, the lawyer to look into it, because when I read that information, I said to myself, this really gives the Parks Commission immense powers. And I didn't really want to have immense powers. If anybody wants to know what those regulations were, I'm sure I can have my wife give you those regulations. Now, there was another incident at, well, there was one other, I believe, Parks meeting in regards to the pool, which, the way I recall it, nobody told me about it. I found out that information from Mr. Smith on our Parks Commission. He said there was some sort of a meeting and they discussed this pool. Now, I believe it was in August. It was at a, it was either at a field day or one of those events we run at the reservoir. There were 4 commissioners in attendance, and those 4 commissioners were sitting on a picnic table next to the flagpole at the reservoir. When we were informed that the town board did not want the Parks Commission commissioners to get involved with this new pool construction. When I first heard this, I said, that's nice. But then I got to thinking, in a way, maybe based on the nonsense and screwing around with the res building that was constructed, I said maybe it might be a good idea that we don't get involved, because if you know the history of the Camp Res building, I was originally going to be about 50% bigger than, maybe a third bigger, I forget exactly. Bigger than what it is now. And with bells and whistles, it was going to cost approximately $300,000. Lo and behold, when all the bids came out, I believe the total cost was, I don't know if it was 500, I forget what the number was. I think it was 647,000. I'm not exactly sure. So I said to myself, we got a town engineer that's now involved with the pool. I said, how can you have some confidence in this? I mean, he gave a big rigmarole, bunch of excuses about prevailing wages. I was impressed with him at first. He gave a good shtick, but so that's basically all I got on that. I mean, it just seems like the powers that be never really wanted us to get involved with this situation, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I just wanted to straighten out the record, because that's to the best of my knowledge, I'm sure I can get the other 3 Parks Commissioners to vouch for that meeting. And that's all I got to say.
Mr. McKay, I think you and I both discussed this issue, but I will let you explain.
Sir, what's your last name?
Ungerer, Fred Ungerer.
Mr. Underwood. I've been the town attorney for almost 10 years now, and I don't know what you thought my response was, but I've dealt with many town residents on all kinds of issues the whole time I've been here.
Well, while I was speaking, you were on your cell phone,
Can
and
Can you let him talk first?
Yes, I was on
Okay.
the cell phone trying to get you an answer to your legal question.
well, we never got the answer.
Can I please finish
Go
my
ahead.
point? I don't know what you perceive. I've been working for the town for 10 years. I interact with town residents all the time. I like interacting with the town residents. I like being here. I don't know what you thought
I did, but I can guarantee you, I didn't mock you in any way.
Well, maybe,
If you-
go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's a pretty strong word, sir.
Yeah.
So, if you're gonna be here for a little while, and with the board's permission, I'll speak with you about your issue, and I'll get you an answer tomorrow. Is that fair?
Well, it's fair, but, it's kinda, it's kinda late now. I mean, everything's.
Well, let me rephrase it. I had an answer that night. Sitting here tonight, I don't exactly remember what the question was. If you remind me, I'll refresh my recollection.
I gave you a copy of these two,
Yes, you did. All right, yeah, I'm here tonight. If you'd like to speak to me after the meeting, I'm more than happy to.
okay.
Anybody else?
Ellen Smith, member of the Park Commission. You thought I was gonna say something about that.
Why would I think that?
I have no idea. I'm interested in the budget meetings in October. You unfortunately didn't list the departments and which departments will be appearing on which day.
That is my apology. Normally, we would do the A fund first. And then we would do the B fund. And then from there, we'll finish with the L and the, what do you call it, library. Yeah, the L is the library, I'm sorry, with the, SR, yeah.
SR is last, is that what you said?
Yes.
I thought you usually did it by department, no?
Well, when we do the A fund, that includes all the A fund departments, so they are more than welcome. We will send out send out a memo that this is when we are doing the A fund, and all department heads are welcome to come. And then obviously with the P fund, the police chief can be there, and the library, etc.
Just as an addition, I have followed the pool from the beginning. I've been there almost every weekend up until about the mid-August, looking for different comments that we could make and looking for unused space, so to speak. I think the design is perfect.
Thank you,
I think
John.
we're doing very well with what we're going to get.
I appreciate that, John, thank you. Anybody else?
Chris Graziano, Highland Mills. I'll hold it, it's easier. First off, I thank Councilwoman Hernandez for your post. That was quite helpful, and I got to give credit for that. That did help a lot of people get through things. And what I'm going to say tonight is I think this has been a polarizing issue. I've been watching it back and forth. Not everything has to be a fight. Not everything has to be, a defensive posture. We can do this, and the community can come together. But I would suggest maybe some community outreach and kind of sessions that give everybody in the public kind of what you're doing. I mean, I think you saw that tonight. People had a lot of questions. We want to see what's going on, and not as much as making decisions, but giving people what you're doing. Kind of having public information sessions, maybe hiring out the school, maybe doing it on a time where it's more convenient for everybody to get there, and just let everybody know what's going on. I had a day or two to think about this as you and I had our conversation back and forth. And I understand when you said that, this is what I said today about there would be an opportunity for a referendum if people want more petitions. So that answered my one question. So that question's answered. Tonight you had the question and answer. You had the executive session, which I thought was also a good move that you allowed questions to be asked, which is not normal. And I'll acknowledge that as well. I think if you held public information sessions and gave everybody the information they're looking for, this would go a lot smoother. We had it up on a big board with that design, instead of the guy trying to hold it, people looking like this and like this, in a little small cozy room like this. I think that kind of would go a long way to easing some of the tension that's going on over this group. So that's kind of where I wanted to be, and like I said, as every day to think about that, I think that would be a bigger key than anything else at this point. If something has to be done, I agree something has to be done. Said it 3 or 4 times already, wasting 130,000 gallons a day of water in a pool is a sin, especially in an area where water supply is coming under scrutiny. So we cannot be wasting that much water. That water has to be recovered. That water cannot be continually especially into the environment. But it's a precious resource. So I think the more communication people do, the more we work and look at things together and give everybody all the information, I think it'll go a lot smoother. That's just my 2 cents. But thank you.
Yeah, I just
Thank
want to
you.
respond to that. Thank you so much, CJ. In regards to the communication, and I did speak to a couple of residents about this, and I spoke to the supervisor yesterday. There is a feature that the town of Clarkstown is currently using, which is a robocall type teleconference, which would allow us, right now, presently, I don't think anyone in Woodbury uses, pretty much, I think everyone uses the same method of communication, the village and the town for the most part. And so, you know, it really is like if a resident brings forth an issue, that's usually where the conversation comes from. If no one brings it up, people are really not aware of the things that go on in town at all. And that goes for the village and the town, because there was a bond that was passed for the village for, I believe, $3 million or so, $4 million, for building. And I spoke to the same residents that spoke to me about the pool were not even aware about that. So obviously, there's communication on both the village and the town that we could all benefit from. But this particular mechanism is a teleconference where we would be able to hold a conference and people would be able to call in to the conference. So if you're commuting and you're driving home and you would like to call in and listen in on what we're talking about, this teleconference would actually be great. So we are going to be looking into that to see if we can look for more creative ways to communicate with the community and to provide that. But I just want to also let the town know, we just created a brand new website, and the website does have alerts that we can alert you on things that are going on. So I would encourage everyone to go to the website also. Thank you.
Piggyback on that, we had a meeting, I think it was Tuesday, with Burbio. It's a new device you download it, put it on your phone, and you can hook into the town's website's calendar. And you can see, I think the village uses it also, correct, Desiree?
I believe one of the trustees.
Yes. So the village has it, we have it, the library has it. It's very simple, it's no cost. It's BURBIO, you download it, and you put in your home zip code, and it will give you everything that's in that area that is hooked into Burbio, and you can choose what calendars you wish to follow. And since we've started it, I've made it a very concerted effort to try to make sure that I have everything on our calendar. Not only for the town, but what's happening in the library, what's happening on the village. I'm also trying to input into our calendar. So when you wish to know what's going on in this town and you have this app, you will be much more informed of what's going on in the town. And yes, we do use Facebook, but not everybody uses it. I do have the webpage, which I'm constantly updating. So there are ways to find out. If you want to find out, there are ways to find out. And so I was going to use that at the end, since I'm piggybacking on you now. That is a new app that we have, and please use it. It happens to be a pretty good app. Okay, anybody else? Okay, let's move on to our town board meeting then. Let's do administrative business. I need a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the 9/5/2019 town board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Thank you. Approval of abstract number 8, please, Desiree.
Abstract number 8 contains vouchers 2019-15, 39 through 2019-1636, voiding check 21-482 through 21-548 due to a print error, and totaling $222,639.33.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Budget modifications, Desiree, I think there's a few.
There are, which is why I brought some of those, right? There's 7, I think. one has two. Refuse fund, increasing SR 9060.800 health insurance by $3,444,000. SR 9060.801 MVP HRA by $3,182. SR 9061.800 dental insurance by $197, and SR 599 appropriate fund balance by $6,823. General fund, increasing A 9060.800 health insurance by $4,565, A 9060.801 MVP HRA by $4,218, A 9061.800 dental insurance by $260, A 599 appropriate fund balance by $9,043. Woodbury Common BID, increasing SMB 3120.403, policing other agencies by $1,982, and decreasing SMB 3120.100, police personnel services by $1,982. Police fund, increasing B 3120.487, radar stalker ATV by $2,419, and decreasing B 9010.800, state retirement by $2,400. Senior center, increasing A 7620.414, trips by $1,500, and decreasing A 7620.100, adult recreation personnel service by $1,500. General fund, increasing A 1650.400, central communications cable by $3,146, A 1650.401, central telephone by $8,718, and decreasing A 1930.400, judgments and claims by $11,864. And last, the Parks Department, increasing A 7110.402, electricity by $14,000, A 599 appropriated fund balance by $14,000.
Thank you very much. You can now take a step.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Okay, new business. We have the dispatches MOA. The police department signed it on Monday and approved it, and we need to approve it this evening. I've sent it to you a little while ago, so you had a good chance to look it over. I need a motion and a second to accept the MOA for the dispatchers.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. We have the appointment of Lena Batuan as, she is the account clerk. She was hired from full-time to reduced hours, and we are increasing her up to 35 hours per week at the same current pay rate, effective 10/1/2019. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. We now have the approval, I need the approval of the bond resolution for the John P. Burke Pool. Desiree, please.
It's a bond resolution of the town of Woodbury, New York, authorizing the construction of a new town pool, including demolition of the existing pool, stating the estimate maximum cost thereof is $3.5 million, appropriating said amount for such purpose, and authorizing the issuance of bonds in the principal amount of $3.5 million to finance said appropriation.
Okay, I need a motion and a second. I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we need to do a roll call.
Councilman Grenier,
Yes.
Councilman Hessel,
Yes.
Supervisor Cohen,
Yes,
Councilman Hunter,
Yes.
and Councilman Rose absent.
correct. And we did need a supermajority on that, so we achieved it tonight by getting 4 votes. So I want to thank the town board for moving forward with this. I appreciate it, and many of those 15,000 people that use the pool probably appreciate it just as much. As I stated before, I had put in the dates for the town board work sessions for the budget. The dates are going to be October 7th, October 9th, October 16th, and if necessary, October 21st. October 7th will be for the A fund, October 9th would be for the B fund, and October 16th would be for any other funds, library and all the other funds. And if needed, we will meet again on the 21st. All start times for all sessions would be at 7 p.m. held here at the town hall. And we hope to do the public budget input or the public hearing on November 7th at the town board meeting of November 7th.
Frank, when you say you hope,
We should be,
by
yeah.
law, you have to have it by that date, you have to have it
Yes.
by the, okay. All right, so,
Yes, public hearing, yeah.
right.
And we could go to the second meeting, but we should have it the
You
first
can
meeting.
continue it to the second meeting,
Okay.
but you have to, the law says you
Yeah.
have to have it by no later than the Thursday after election.
Okay. Then that's when we'll have it. Okay, department reports, the supervisor's report.
The supervisor's report for August 2019 has receipts totaling $190,913.66, and disbursements totaling $1,511,995.83.
I need a motion and a second.
A motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We did receive the town clerk's report, August 2019. We did receive the buildings and grounds, August 2019. The ACO report of August 2019. The police communications report for August 2019. The beautification committee did not have a meeting that month. Library, August 2019. Parks and Recreation, August 2019. And we did receive the budget versus actual 2019. I'd like to mention something on that budget versus actual. What we do now is every 2 weeks after we run, what do you call them, abstract, we do send a copy to every department head so that they're not a month behind anymore. So that each department head knows exactly what the status is for each one of their divisions and with the budget. So that's something new that we've initiated several months back, but I just thought I would point that out because it gives us a better accounting for all the department heads. That's about all I have. Board member comments?
Yes. At this time, I would like to congratulate Maria Hunter again for the acknowledgement for all your work in the town and the village. I'd like to also acknowledge again Brandon Gibson for the work that you did. And I would like to also encourage any other Boy Scouts that are working on Eagle Scout projects to visit the town because we would love to coordinate with you on projects in the community that are needed to be done. I'd like to commend the Dog Park Committee. They did a wonderful job at their swim, and of course the Parks Department staff and commissioners for supporting that event. I think as we continue to work as a community, I'm seeing wonderful residents really stepping up, new residents stepping up to the plate and becoming involved in the community. So I want to acknowledge Alyssa. She's a high schooler, I remember Woodbury, and she rocks. So I am very proud of her. I also wanted to thank the residents online and who came tonight. You know, when we talk about money, I think it's probably the most stimulating conversation that you'll get. But I think it's so important for the community to be involved. And, you know, at times, you know, the board is very, wants to be proactive and wants to move projects really for the benefit of the community. The pool is for the community. It's not anything that we benefit personally from. And so, yeah, sometimes we get anxious thinking, you know, we want to have this pool open for the season, but understand that, you know, we are working on better communication. I think with every municipality, we have to acknowledge what areas we need to work on better, and communication is one of them. So we did hear your voice. We are going to work on that. But I thank everybody for their input and for the questions. It definitely allowed me to research things behind the scenes with the board members as well as our attorney and the engineer. So I thank everybody for their input online. And then lastly, I want to just thank the Parks Commissioner. They invited me over to their meeting, and you know, we were able to talk a little bit about the pool and of course, I think with every committee that volunteers, there's always a feeling that you don't get the recognition you deserve. I know they work very hard to protect the Parks Department, and I appreciate what they do. This board appreciates what they do. So even though our chair did mention that he felt that, that we don't want the town, the commissions involved, we just don't want stalemate. We don't want government as usual. We just want a fluid process where we're coming to the table with solutions, not more problems. So I think this board really wants to work with everyone, and I want to commend the commissioners and the Parks Director, who, he's not here now, but, you know, for being patient through the process. Thank you.
Councilman?
Personally, I want to congratulate Maria Hunter and Brandon Gibson. Volunteer is the hardest thing. When you volunteer your time, it's the love that you give back to the community, so thank you both for that. And I just think out to the residents and echo what Councilman Hernandez said, it's our community. Whatever you choose or what you want to give back is what it's accepted. And we can only make our community safer, bigger, stronger, and what you want to give to it is what we'll accept, and what we can give back is what we want to do. So if we do it all together as a family, who knows what we could achieve.
Councilman Hunter? So far down the road over there.
Yeah, can you hear me? Congratulations to Maria. I watched you work hours and hours on that job. And it was difficult for you, but you worked so hard to do the right thing. And the town appreciates it. Thank you.
Desiree?
I want to talk about some community events that are coming up. Most importantly, the trunk or treat for the Woodbury Chamber of Commerce, which of course will be held once again on October 31st at Smithfield Elementary School between the hours of 6 and 8. We are expanding it a bit this year. We're hoping to have some food trucks there, so the adults who bring their children who stand around and talk to each other will hopefully be able to maybe sit and have something good to eat. I believe I have an empanada truck almost booked, and I'm working on a Philly cheesesteak book. I was thinking ice cream, but it might be too cold, so I don't know. We'll have to play that one by ear. We're hopefully going to have some bouncy houses, so the kids have something to do other than swiping candy from everybody. So come one, come all. You can have a trunk there, even if you're not a business or a volunteer in the community. If you are a resident who likes to hand out candy, but maybe your area that you live in does not get a lot of traffic, throw some decorations on your car, come on down, and you can participate as well. It's open to everybody. We will have signing up just so we can get an idea for spacing soon, and that information will be on the Chamber's Facebook page and hopefully the website. We're working that again. October 31st. Halloween's still on October 31st. As far as I know, it has not been officially changed. Not yet. Not yet.
Taco truck.
And the,
Taco truck.
Oh, I have a call into somebody I found online, but if anyone knows any food trucks that are really good that you think may benefit or want to come, please reach out to me at Town Hall or Village Hall, and I will call them and see what I can do. Robin knows somebody, so that's great. I'm trying not to get like duplicate, like if the empanada guy gets booked, if he doesn't do churros. There's a churro number I have to call, so I'm working on it. Churros, stuffed with creams, dipped in chocolate, while watching a Green Bay game. There's nothing worse, right?
So they're watching the Giants.
Yeah, or the Jets who have the quarterback.
Mr. McKay?
I would like to meet with the board in attorney-client session to discuss one matter concerning tax social audit litigation.
It's Thursday during football season, right?
I'm happy not to.
With the Jacksonville Sporting.
If the board doesn't ask too many questions, we can do it in 5 minutes.
So nothing.
I'm trying to use.
I'm more than willing to bet $1 on the over-under. I'll go for the over, I guarantee it. Okay, Chief, you wanna say anything?
I want to thank you guys for taking care of the the dispatcher contract, they're a very, very important part of dispatching for not only the police, but the ambulance corps and the fire department. And I appreciate you getting that done. Also want to put out a thank you for you for what you've done. I know you're going to continue to come down with park stuff, but now you'll have more time to make our place beautiful. So I appreciate everything.
You're welcome, thank you.
I would like to congratulate Ms. Maria Hunter. It should be noted that not only has she put in 19 and a half years, as Mr. Councilman Bob Hunter referred to, but she's also the chairwoman of our beautification committee, and she's been doing that for quite some time as well, and she is still active in it. So I want to thank you for your community service, Maria.
You're welcome, thank you.
Much appreciated. And I would like to thank once again all the park commissioners that came down tonight and participated, and everybody else that came. And I've got two young men here that look like they might be Eagle Scouts. I got a project for you. We're building a pool. Maybe you'll be interested. Anyway, I want to wish everybody a happy and a healthy. Be careful out there. We'll see you in October. Have a wonderful evening. I need a motion to go into an executive session or community,
You can just
attorney
make a motion.
client.
Client session.
You're not gonna make any decisions, you can just simply.
Close the meeting.
And then we go home.
Okay.
I'll
I
make
need a
that
motion to
motion.
close.
I'll second.
All in favor? Have a good evening, folks.
Yesterday was Frank's birthday.